Hello and welcome to Rain's Kitchen and Garden. My name is Rain. Today I'm making lemon yogurt muffins. This is part of my bread baking series where I'm baking every one of the 40 recipes from the Sonoma collection recipe cookbook titled Bread. I hope you enjoy it, and please don't forget to check out my bread playlist for other delicious bread making videos. Alright, I'm very excited to make these lemon yogurt muffins. The first thing that I did was I preheated my oven till 375 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 190 degrees Celsius and gas mark 5. And I greased my muffin tins with butter, and then I put muffin liners in the pan because my pan is very used and there are a lot of stains on it, and I always prefer to use muffin liners whenever I use my muffin tin. So I'm going to set that aside for now, and I'm going to start making my muffins. Now the first thing I did here in my bowl was I put my all-purpose flour in the bowl. There's 2 cups or 315 grams of unbleached all-purpose flour, and to that I'm going to add some brown sugar. I have half a cup or 125 grams. I have some baking powder, 1 1/4 teaspoons or 7 grams. I have some baking soda. I have 1 teaspoon or 5 grams of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon or 3 grams of salt, and I have the zest of 1 organic lemon. Now, I would always suggest that when you need to have zest in your recipes, that you buy organic. And I'm not trying to advocate anything, and I'm not trying to change the world, but it is true that citrus growers, or the people who sell their products, put something onto the skins or the peels or the outside of the citrus fruit to make them look shiny. I'll let you do your own research on that, but personally that's not something that I would want to consume. So I only found out about that this year, and if you're happy or you're comfortable with using regular lemons or oranges or limes for the zest from the grocery store, that they're not organic, then go ahead, but just make sure you scrub them. I would say scrub them really, really well. Alright, I'm going to whisk all that together, and I'm kind of punching down the brown sugar lumps just to make sure that they're not lumped in there. Okay, I'm going to make a little well in the center, and I'm going to add my wet ingredients. There's my well. So the wet ingredients are yogurt. I have my homemade yogurt here. It's unsweetened yogurt. I'm trying to get all of that out of my mason jar here because I need 1 1/4 cups. That's 315 grams of plain yogurt. There we go. I love using homemade ingredients. I also have some eggs. I have 2 large eggs that I've lightly beaten. I'm going to actually take my spatula, my other one, try to get all that out of there without bumping things around too much. I don't have too much room. I have the tiniest kitchen, my friends. I also have some melted unsalted butter that I let cool. That's 5 tablespoons or 75 grams. All right, and now the lemon juice. This is the juice from the lemon that I had grated for the zest. It's approximately 1/4 cup of lemon juice. If you don't have a lemon, you could always just use lemon juice. It probably won't be as flavorful because the lemon zest really adds a lot of flavor. But if you're in a pickle, you can use just lemon juice, and I would say use anywhere from 1/4 cup to maybe 1/3 cup, depending how lemony you like things. Now I'm going to just mix that in right away, just until the flour is combined a little bit, and then I'm going to whisk. recipe says to whisk vigorously until thoroughly combined. The batter should be fluffy but slightly lumpy. So let's whisk vigorously if I can. I think this is as vigorous as I can be here. I think that's combined. I'm just going to turn the camera off because I want to try to get all of that batter out of my whisk, and I'm going to be banging, so I don't want you to hear that. Okay, I got all the batter out of my whisk. I was just kind of banging it on the side of my bowl, but I didn't want you to hear all that noise. So I'm going to scrape down the sides and the bottom of my bowl just to make sure that there's nothing left that hasn't been incorporated. And I think we're okay here. Everything's well incorporated. So I'm just going to set this aside just for a moment, and I've got here in a small bowl 1.5 tablespoons or 15 grams of brown sugar, and I've kind of patted down all the lumps a little bit, and I'm going to add some ground nutmeg. I'm just going to add a dash. This is going to be the topping of our muffins. The original recipe calls for something different, and I can't remember offhand, but you can always check out the description below. I've left a link where you can check out the original recipe that I transcribed for you, just in case you want to see what the original recipe is and you don't necessarily want to follow mine. I'm going to leave this aside, and I'm going to fill my muffin tins. So I'm going to fill my muffin tins until they're about up to the rim. I'm going to try to make sure everything is evenly distributed into the 12 cups because this recipe is supposed to make 12 muffins. I also have a little glass of water here, which comes in handy because it gets a little messy when you're filling muffin tins. You fill, and then sometimes you want to use your finger to push it off. And in order to get the batter to stop sticking to your finger, if you have a wet finger, that helps a lot. So that's just a little tip for you. So away I go. So I've got them pretty much evenly distributed. I'm just going to make sure that there's no batter that's sitting on top of the pan that kind of spilled out, because that's going to burn, and I don't want anything to burn. So taking a good look here, everything looks good. Now I've got my little topping here. I'm just going to take about a pinch in each finger here and just top each muffin. I put a little more on the others. There we go. I'm sure that these muffins would be delicious without the topping on them, but I'm trying to stick to the recipe as much as I can because I've never made these before and I would like to taste them. But I always alter recipes to my taste anyway. All right. There we go. My muffins are ready to go into the oven. I'm going to bake them until they're golden around the edges, and when you touch them on top, they're kind of springy, from 16 to 20 minutes. And if you stick a toothpick in the center, the muffin should come out clean. I always usually have to bake them a little longer because my oven isn't that great. When I set it to 375, sometimes it only gets to 350, so I always have to check on my muffins. So I will let you know at the end of the baking process how long this took. My muffins are ready. It took a total of 30 minutes for my muffins to bake in my oven. But I wanted to show you. They're springy on the top. See, they bounce back. And let's try a big one here, right in the middle. few tiny little crumbs, but that's pretty clean. So they are definitely baked. And they pop out so easily because I buttered and I used the muffin liner. They smell amazing too. I hope that you enjoyed this video, my friends, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave me a comment. I love reading your comments and I do reply to them. I'll see you next time on Rain's Kitchen and Garden. Thank you again for watching. Bye.